Hey guys, welcome to RX2. In this part and the final part, let's talk about statins finally. And I will also be talking about the role of the liver in all of this. And yeah, let's not just mess around. Let's just get started with it, eh?
Now let's look at the liver. As we all know, the liver is a pretty important organ. It has a lot of very important functions. So other than tolerating the abuse we put it through during Friday nights and weekends, it is also involved in a variety of functions like digestion, and maintaining normal blood glucose levels, making proteins in the blood, storing iron and vitamin B12 and other compounds, getting rid of waste products, and a whole lot of other very important tasks. So I suppose it comes as no surprise that it is also involved in maintaining the balance of cholesterol in the body. It both makes cholesterol, so the liver is involved in the synthesis of cholesterol, and it also helps get rid of it, so it helps eliminate cholesterol from the body. So let's talk about the liver for a little bit. Okay, so I'll just draw my fantastic representation of a liver. Look at that, such artistic skill, isn't it? So let us again zoom into the liver. Well, this time we won't really zoom into it. What we'll do is we'll just take a closer look at one function that occurs inside the liver. So I'll just draw this little arrow over here. Okay, so in the liver, it all starts with a compound called acetyl-CoA. So this compound is the beginning of it all. So this compound gets converted into something called HMG-CoA. That's another compound. You don't need to go into the detail of what everything stands for. You can find out about it if you're interested. But let's just call it HMG-CoA. This HMG-CoA is converted to mevalonate, another compound, and the mevalonate undergoes a variety of steps. There's so many steps involved, which will culminate and eventually result in cholesterol. So at the end of this huge pathway, you get cholesterol production, and then the cholesterol is eliminated primarily by conversion into bile acids. We don't need to go into what all of that is. Just suffice to know that bile acids are involved in digestion and so on. So one way that cholesterol is eliminated from the body is that it gets converted into bile acid. It gets into the intestine and we poop it out. That's just one way that cholesterol is eliminated. So let's get back into the pathway. So HMG-CoA is converted into mevalonate by an enzyme, and it's called HMG-CoA reductase. This enzyme, it causes the conversion of HMG-CoA into mevalonate, which eventually gives cholesterol. So if the activity of HMG-CoA reductase goes down, the mevalonate levels go down, which means that further down the pathway, the level of cholesterol reduces as well. So for whatever reason, if HMG-CoA reductase enzyme reduces in activity, you're going to get less cholesterol production from the liver. So what is the consequence of this? What is the consequence of reduced cholesterol level in the being produced from the liver? What's going to happen is, let me just select another color here and just adjust everything here. Okay, I think purple should do it. So what's going to happen is, as the level of cholesterol go down, the liver is going to start expressing more LDL receptors. So it's gonna increase the level of LDL receptors, which means that there's going to be an increased uptake of LDL from the blood. So increased uptake of LDL from the blood. So basically the liver is going to be able to take up, is going to be able to sponge up more LDL from the blood. That's one way to think about it. That means that there's going to be reduced LDL floating around in the blood because the liver is taking it all up. So reduced LDL floating around in blood, and the greatest consequence of that is that there's going to be, well, as far as the contents of this video is concerned, and the other videos that I've made, as the level of LDL floating around in the blood decreases, the risk of atherosclerosis also decreases. And which means that there's a reduced risk of plaques forming on artery walls, which was atherosclerosis, if you recall. So as the risk of atherosclerosis goes down, there is also a reduced risk of things like stroke and heart attack. So I'll just write these down over here: stroke, heart attack. Also angina, which is like chest pain. Also there's a reduced risk of blood flow being cut off from peripheral limbs like arms and legs, so which means that there's going to be reduced risk of pain and numbness in legs or arms. And there are a whole lot of other benefits as well, and that's all as a consequence of reduced LDL, reduced risk of atherosclerosis. So all this was as a consequence of HMG-CoA reductase activities going down, and this is where our heroes, the statins, come in.
It's about damn time.
Statins work on HMG-CoA reductase. They work on this enzyme. And they reduce the activity of this enzyme, so they make it, well, not work as well. And as a result, HMG-CoA is less likely to be converted into mevalonate. Level of mevalonate go down, so cholesterol goes down. And when the level of cholesterol go down, the liver expresses more LDL receptors. The liver is able to sponge up more of the LDL floating around in the blood, and as a consequence, there's a reduced risk of atherosclerosis, and those people who are at risk of stroke and heart attack are less likely to experience those unfortunate events. And the people who are at risk are people who have things like diabetes and hypertension, and that's why people who have such conditions are more likely to be prescribed statins, so that it can start working on this pathway and reduce the risk of stroke and heart attack, angina, and so on from happening.
And that's it from me, guys. That's all I have to say about statins. Hope you found that kind of enjoyable, informative. Yeah, if you did like it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below for any kind of suggestions that you might have, or any suggestions for future drugs that I could look at, or any drugs that you want me to talk about. But yeah, other than that, that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.